Welcome everyone to the first episode of The Bird is the Word International Edition. That's right, we have gone global. We have two amazing special guest stars for you today, all the way from Taipei and London. So with that, I'm gonna say once again, my name is Marc.lenio and my amazing co-host somewhere down there, over there.
We'll go with that, thank you. Hey, it's Jeff, kids. We are international loving bird style. Exactly right. Consider this volume 6, volume 7. Hell, I don't know. It's COVID. We're all sitting in back rooms somewhere. This could be the 11th episode, 14th episode. It is late to drop, and that is my fault because I was the idiot that pushed a record to cloud, as well as I had a huge distortion on my mic. I hope that doesn't stop us again today. Manuel, before we hop into all this, rest assured that I will not ask you what hashtag comes to mind when you think of your boss's office. So we'll just get that out of the way right now. You don't need to worry about that whatsoever. And Louie, on the same token, I'm not going to ask whether he asks you whether you have a thumb drive with Sailor Moon at all. We're just going to go from there. So Marc, back to you.
Perfect. Well, I want to start off with welcoming Louie Fisher all the way from London, England. So Louie, tell us about yourself, how long you've been with ViewSonic and where'd you come from?
Thank you very much for having me on the show, guys. So my name's Louie. I'm 26 years old, living in London. I actually graduated and then became a teacher. So I taught for 3 years, actually. So I taught in a high school teaching English. I basically found a love for technology at that point then. Decided to see how I could implement that into my sort of job rather than just sort of working it into a classroom and sort of found ViewSonic. So I've been with ViewSonic now for about 14, 15 months and yeah, loving every second.
Well, great. Well, let's kind of jump into it. So my first question to you is, how has COVID affected your region and what are you recommending from a ViewSonic perspective to help people overcome it?
Cool. So obviously within the UK, we've had a complete school shutdown. So every single school in the UK shut down. I think it was March 26th, I believe. I can't remember if I've got the date exactly right. But basically the entire school system was shut. So it presented a number of challenges. So previously, while I was working with end users and schools, I'm now more sort of in a sales role, actually. So traditionally, a lot of what we've done has been kitting places out with the right hardware, essentially, so for their EdTech solutions. So actually, we've seen a real shift since the COVID happened, and it's actually been a shift from hardware over to software. So for schools who previously had no real setup for anything that needed to be remote, have had to kind of adapt and go with sort of new things that enable them to sort of learn and work in a slightly different way. So my view boards underpinned that a lot with all the kind of distance learning solutions we've been going with, live conferencing, streaming, all that kind of stuff. So a huge shift in kind of the focus at this end anyway in the UK.
Great. And if you could tell one thing, shout it from all around the world, because you know there's 7 billion people watching this episode. If you could say one thing about ViewSonic that you want people to know these next 2 to 3 months, what would that be about that really, really you want to scream from the rooftops?
I think I'd probably scream from the rooftops all the capabilities that we've got, because I think when people think of ViewSonic, they think all the amazing visual stuff. They think the projectors, which we can come on to later. I can talk for hours about projectors, but they think projectors, they think hardware. I think the software, although it's obviously a massive software now and we've got a million users or whatever, I don't think people are aware on a grander scale, maybe outside our industry, of how much this can actually underpin remote working, remote learning, and the kind of impact it can have on sort of daily lives going forward.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you to keep it rolling. So what do you got for Manuel?
Yeah, that's absolutely hard to beat, but we are bringing in Manuel Edghill here from Taipei. Manuel is really the thought leader behind the alliances globally for ViewSonic. So everything that you're thinking of from our Google alliances, Zoom, our Intel MRS affiliation, these are really Manuel's babies. So we want to hop in there and make a correction to all of our customers that I've been saying here in the past that we have 26 or 27 developers and architects working around the clock. Rumor has it that it's a lot higher number than that, Manuel. What are we looking at?
We're looking close to 50 plus, 50, 70, up there. Yeah. So for the My Viewboard ecosystem alone, we probably have about 30 to 40. And then for the other fun R&D things that we're working on. We have the rest, and obviously we have hardware engineers, developers as well. So,
wow. Well, considering that no one on here has an NDA in place, we can't go into any of our futures right now. But I do want to circle around, and you have been actually just pulling and willing this Intel MRS solution, or the designation and certification from ViewSonic. Why is that so important to ViewSonic and to you?
Intel MRS is a particular certification that Intel provides to partners who can provide three main things, which is one brand that could give a hardware, it could provide a software, and it could have edge computing, edge to cloud computing in a global scale rollout. So we can provide all those three things, and we have a global scale. So we are Intel MRS certified. And actually, as of this week, an Intel Partner Connect, we got the Partner of the Year for Intel MRS.
Congratulations. Well, I mean, yes, what I meant was absolutely. That's very strong.
You're the very first people to know it. Don't tell anybody.
That's a beautiful thing. You know, what I find so disappointing at this is that I want to see you on stage, strutting your stuff, letting the hair down, putting on your best quality sunglasses, and we're not going to be able to do that for this award. That sucks, man.
We could do it here.
There it is. We're doing it here now.
That's what it is. Just deal with
it. We're doing it live. That's outstanding.
We're doing it live.
Hey, Mark, I think you're going to try and find out what Louie uses on a regular basis, right?
Sure. So once again, 7 billion people watching, no pressure. What's one ViewSonic product that you'd like people to know about that really can help drive initiatives over the next couple quarters?
Easy. The projector, the X10 projector. It's a 4K short throw projector. For me, it's the greatest thing ever. I received it just before the lockdown for demo purposes to show to end users. As it's panned out, it's basically just sat in my living room giving me a home cinema whenever I want, really.
Nice.
So in terms of entertainment, in terms of gaming, whatever it is you choose to watch, it's the best way to do it. 100-inch screen and 4K.
Perfect. Well,
that's amazing. Hold on, Mark. I got to ask. Yes. So what videos do you not watch if the Queen Mom or former Prime Minister Theresa May comes walking into your door? What do you quickly turn off of the X10?
I can't disclose that kind of information on this channel. It's strictly for classics and gaming for me. I'm going to.
There it is, kid. Sorry, Mark. Go right ahead.
Well, we want to thank Manuel and Louie for joining us on this international edition of The Bird is the Word. We look forward to doing these all in the hopes of helping you with your end user's position in this world we live in. Keep in mind, from a visual solution, we got you covered for monitors, signage, projectors, and health and safety equipment as well, too. Please feel free to reach out to Jeff.erb or myself. Thanks again for watching The Bird is the Word. And once again, with the amazing sign-off, I toss it back to Jeff.erb.
Do we have
I got nothing. No, I pass it to Manuel. What are the last words, Manuel?
Last words? Oh, man. Well, stay united, be strong, and we'll get out of this one. We'll be all right.
Thanks for having us.
Could not do it better. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.